Welcome back to the Petite Homestead, y'all. We are going to be preserving green beans today. So we are preserving them to freeze for the winter. So I have all my green beans here. I chopped both ends off, so I'm going to show you exactly what I did. So we are just going to chop off both ends of the green beans, so where the stem is, and then at the bottom, just like so. That's what I did to every single one of them, so that they're nice and ready to go. You could cut them into smaller pieces if you wanted to, but you don't have to. I prefer to leave them pretty whole. It's just easier. So we're going to do a process called blanching. So we are going to cook them in boiling water, which I have going now, and then put them in ice bath to stop the cooking process completely. And then I have a food saver here, and we're going to vacuum seal them in this bag. So if you don't have a food saver, I 10 out of 10 recommend. It is so worth it. This is our second one. The first one we had for probably 10-15 years. So worth it. You can use it for veggies, meat, really anything you want. So we're going to put our green beans in the boiling water. I'm going to do 2 batches. They only need to cook about a minute or 2. So you'll see them kind of start to change color. They get to be that kind of darker, more vibrant green. You know, when they first come out or come off the plant and you bring them inside, they are kind of more of like a muted green, a little more dull. As you cook them, they'll become more vibrant, and as soon as we start to see that, we're going to take them out, put them in the ice bath, and completely stop that cooking process. So we'll give them another few seconds here. So once I vacuum seal them and put them in the freezer, you use them just like you would any other frozen veggies. So take them out, thaw them. You can then saute them, grill them, steam them, however you like to cook your veggies. And they're just as fresh as when you took them out of the garden months and months beforehand. So we're going to use our tongs to take them out, and you can kind of see the color difference there, much brighter green. And we're going to put them in the ice bath, really kind of submerge them, make sure this cooking process is completely halted. We don't want them to overcook and become soggy. So we're going to get all of them out and submerged. And again, I'm kind of doing 2 batches. That way it's easier. That way none of them get overcooked. If you do too many, and then it's hard to get out, and then, you know, you're ended up overcooking some of them more than others, and just by doing the smaller batches, it just makes it a little more even. So I'm making sure we get everyone. And then I'm going to take them out of the ice bath and give that water a chance to kind of heat up again. Dropped one, of course. Okay, so now we're going to grab the food saver bag that we made. Again, food saver is amazing. I think I got this machine for under $200 around the holidays. Let's move this cutting board out of the way. That way we have more space, and we have some herbs drying. To tune into my channel for that video. So we're going to open our food saver bag that we created. They come in big rolls, and you just make whatever bag size you want. And we're just going to take our green beans out of that ice bath and put them in the food saver bag. So I'll use my hands, but whatever is easiest for you. If you get an ice cube in there, no worries, I'll take them out. But it's not a big deal if it stays in there. Again, the whole thing's getting frozen anyway. I don't know if there's like a set amount of time on like when you should take them out and use them once they're frozen. We tend to use them in the winter months. So by the time spring comes around, we've kind of gone through all of our green beans again. So probably about 6 to 8 months time frame as to freezing and using them in the future. And none of them have ever been bad or anything when we're getting closer to that, you know, end of spring, beginning of summer. We're using those kind of last bags of green beans. So we'll do our second batch here. Sorry, my finger is in the way. Still getting the hang of this, apparently. Okay, so that's that. We'll move that out of the way. Bring the water ice bath a little bit closer. And again, we're just waiting for them to kind of start to cook and turn that brighter green color. About 1 to 2 minutes is all you need. And then we'll quick put them in the ice bath to stop the cooking process. So you can kind of see it as they're sitting there. They're starting to turn that more vibrant green, and some of the bigger ones take a little bit longer. So you can see they're a little more dull in color initially, and then we'll turn that more vibrant green. So a few more seconds here before we take them out, just making sure everybody's kind of cooked a little bit before we put them in the ice bath. Okay, perfect. In we go. And again, submerging them, making sure they're super duper cold and everything is stopped in terms of the cooking process. Again, this is a technique called blanching. I've only ever done it on green beans. I'm sure you can do it on other foods. I've never personally done it though, just green beans, the easiest way that I can find to preserve them. I know there's dilly beans as well, but nobody in my family is big on pickles, me included, so I don't make dilly beans. Alright, so we're going to take those ice cubes out of there. Again, you can leave them in if you really wanted to, but I'm going to take them out. So, because we're just going in the freezer anyway, so what's another little bit of ice? Alright, so those are all out. We're going to continue to fill this bag and we'll get it in the food saver. Again, I highly recommend getting a food saver. It's amazing in terms of preserving your food, especially in large quantities. So I know we use it almost every week for meat. You know, whatever meat is on sale, we're buying in bulk. But being a small family, like, we don't need, 10 chicken breasts out at a time. So break it up into 2 or 3 in each bag, vacuum seal it, and then pop them in the freezer, and you're just taking out what you need when you need it. And again, our last food saver lasted, I want to say, at least 15 years, if not longer, before it started to die. And this new one I got around the holidays, I don't think it was $200, but it was just below, maybe $180. And it does just fine. So you can do dry foods, you can do wet foods. The bags come on a roll, and you create how big of a bag that you want, or you can buy the pre-sized bags. So we got just a couple more to pick out here, and then we'll get to vacuum sealing. Really hiding in there. Alright, I think that's the last of it. Okay, last little check. Alright, so put that to the side. I made the bag a little too big, so we're going to cut off the excess. Make sure I'm kind of in there, clumped together, and we're going to vacuum seal. So I'm going to cut off the excess bag there. Oh, that's right. The vacuum saver actually has a knife on it. So normally the bags go in the top part, but the roll we have right now is too big. It doesn't fit in there. So we're going to put this in there, and this is actually the knife. So put that down. Want it a little bit bigger than that. And then, yep. So then you just slide across, and it makes a nice straight line, as opposed to trying to cut with scissors, and then you get a jagged line, and then it doesn't seal as well. It's a whole thing. So then we put it in that little well where it seals, close the lid, latch it, and then we hit vacuum. And it just does its thing. And that's how easy it is. Sometimes you have to fiddle with getting the bag right every so often. But I think this newer model seems to be better with that. Again, the last one's like 15 years old. So I'm sure that has something to do with it. So it's going to take out all of the air, and then it'll automatically seal and create that nice tight vacuum seal. There it goes. And then once the light goes off, I can unlatch it. Yep, there we go. Unlatch and take it out. And it's all sealed, ready to go. So I just take a Sharpie marker and write on it green beans and the date. And that's it. Then just pop it in the freezer, take it out when you're ready. So subscribe to my channel if you want more gardening, homesteading, preservation, DIY tips just like this. And that's all. Happy homesteading, y'all.